Yo, what's up, everybody? How's it going? Sorry for the late start today. Actually, you know what? No, I'm not sorry. I'm really busy.
My ability is called instant death to any
Instant death to any target. Let's put some music on. Oh, happy Thursday to everyone. I highly appreciate you guys being here. If you haven't already, click the like button, subscribe button, all the buttons that aren't negative for this channel. I appreciate you. If you click the negative ones, you know what? You're a stinker. That's what you are. Excuse me. So last we streamed, we set up this little UI that we have where when we're outside, it's a 3D model. When we're inside, it's a drag and drop widget, right? So now it's all about when we release, we have a UI that allows the person to build that building there. Also, we should probably set up some things for when somebody maybe clicks on a building, they want to know more about it. Or even when they're dragging it, there's a UI widget that pops up next to the hand that gives them information on it. And go from there. But for now, I'm thinking what we need to do is head on over to here and maybe turn off some of the messaging for this, because I'm getting kind of annoyed of it. On drag leave, it should be handled here. That's crazy. I don't see any message. And I don't believe I have a message in here that's responsible for that. Maybe it's on the actual drag and drop operation. Bim, 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 bim. All right. The spawned meshes location. Now what we need to do is we have on event on drag enter. Yeah, we need to, I don't think we need to necessarily destroy this actor, right? But I think it would be better if we set the visibility to that visibility. I don't want to set the visibility of the mesh component. I mean, I guess it'll have to be the mesh. New visibility. Visible. Why can't I set the invisibility of this actor? It's kind of annoying me. But yeah, I do not want to destroy. I merely just want to set visibility. Set actor hidden in game. There we go. Where the all its components. True. Let's try this really quick because I'm unfamiliar with that. Yeah, see, it doesn't do that. New hidden. What if we compile that? Okay, that works. But I want to see if it's creating multiple. Sorry, my daughter's talking to me. Let's see if this is, because last time it looked like it was recreating it every time. Every time. So I want to see if it's creating, yeah. See down there? It's literally creating one every time that we do that. That is no bueno. I wonder why it's doing that. It's because whenever we leave, we create this, and whenever we enter it, we don't destroy it. So what we should do is spawn this actor. I mean, we already create the current held actor, so we should see if this has even been created. So let's go ahead and check if this is valid, and then go from there. Okay, cool. So much stuff on my desk. I just literally spilt a drink. I'm sad. I'll be right back. Apologize. Oh. All right, I'm back. Yeah, I'm very weird. Like, so I worked out my legs recently, and they're just blasted, man. Like, it hurts. It hurts to walk. And I'm like very much so one of those people, like if my legs are jacked up, I don't want to do anything physical at all. So if this is not valid, we want to create something, you know? And I'm assuming valid means like a null pointer. Like if it's a null pointer, there's nothing there, then create something there. If it, you know, is valid, do nothing. So let's test this. I'm very much so like an iterative programmer, or iterative, yeah, and that works. Sweet. You'll see at the bottom right, we're not getting any yellow text, which indicates to me that we're not building multiple of these. However, we do now have this issue where like it's once you do it the first time and you've set it hidden, right? If it is true, then we want to unhide it. That's pretty much it. I believe. Yeah, there we go. So we're not necessarily deleting it. And honestly, to be truthful, like if someone grabs this, they're probably just going to drop it. Like that's what they're going to do. They're not going to sit here like I am and just play this over and over again. Right? But they'll probably grab it, drop it. Ooh, what was that? Really? That's happening, huh? Interesting. I thought I fixed that yesterday. Yeah, why does that happen? It's like the first time it happens, it's fine. But if we like cancel that out and do it again, it doesn't add that to the new params, which it should be doing. I mean, every time we do this drag implementation, oh, I am. That is interesting. So this is somewhere we can fix all of this in the future. I don't switch to only creating params on the drag initiated, or params on the spawn, because right now I'm adding this every time we're dragging it. So that's somewhere we can fix in the future. And I wish there was a way for me to just be like, I don't know, fix Fix. Knowing me though, I'll look at that and I'll be like, why did I put this FFII whatever? But yeah, this is currently what we're doing. I mean, that works. I guess the next thing to do would be to make it so we can solidify. We can solidify this. Let's see if that happens on here. Yeah, it does. Okay. What you're seeing is essentially the raycast is on the first one, it's fine. The raycast is essentially hitting the box, which is moving it up slowly, right? So we have to on spawn essentially set that parameter so it doesn't happen. But yeah, that's gonna be annoying. I kind of feel like maybe that's something we do right now. I like how I go on Twitter on my phone. It's like, hey, Nazareth Studios is live. Join in. I mean, I'm happy to hear that it's working, but do I want to join in on my own stream? I don't know. Seems weird. It's like, yeah, I'm not doing that. Okay, I guess it's time to stop playing around with that and actually work on the features. That is like a bad habit of mine. I just want to see it working, and then once I get my like brain wrapped around it, I want to start, you know, implementing the stuff. I don't know if anyone else does the same thing. So when we enter, we hide it. When we unenter, if it's already spawned, we do that. Spawn actor will have to do something in here that add to param, cast param in drag and drop op class. I don't know. I'm just trying to put stuff here so like I'll know. And I just won't see this and be like, oh, I need to fix it. Because I feel like I just glide over that. So let's think a little bit about how we're going to implement this. One, we're going to have to do it on drop. I mean, essentially, best viewers on. Do I really got to go into Twitch right now and ban some people? Like, I don't want to do all that. I'm lazy. I don't want to do that. Why you guys got to come in here and do that? Make me work? How dare you? How dareth you it? How dareth? Why can't you just come in here and just be like chill? Come in and not be bots. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'd love that if we get some, you know, actual live audience coming in here saying something on Twitch, but it's always bots. You're the best. It's funny though too, because I know like a lot of people don't come in here because I am a Christian streamer, and it's just hilarious to me. Like, people don't want to act like there's not like based opinions on Christians that a lot of these individuals have on Twitch. But it's true, man. I do love the people on Twitch though. The genuine viewers that come in and hang out and stuff. But I've had a lot of people on Twitch come in and talk some smack and then leave afterwards. And it's like, hey man, whatever makes you feel better about your life. If coming in here and making fun of some Christian guy who's just making a game brings you joy, then I guess so be it. Me, I'd rather, you know, be eating some food, or maybe like running or working out or creating something or playing a game even. But yeah, people find a lot of solace in that for some weird reason. I don't know why. But yeah, we can definitely do like something in here when we drop, but when we drop, this is going to be, I don't know. Here, we could probably do that in here, right? If we drop in here. But you know what? We would have to get a reference. I mean, we could create the widget in here too that handles that. Instead of, because I feel like if we have on drop in this portrait, right, we'll have to see like where we dropped, where I feel like this knows like whether we've dropped inside of the UI area, and it knows when we've dropped outside of the UI area. So let's just go ahead and test that. Dropped outside. I like to make absolutely sure that that's the case before I do something. Dropped inside. I'm a very like micro iterative developer. I do things micro, on the micro level. I don't like typing up a bunch of code and then finding out it doesn't work and then being like, all right, well, what part of this code doesn't work? I like to add things bit by bit, because then it's easier to, you know, essentially pinpoint where there's an issue in the code, in my opinion. And we're not even getting, wow, we're not getting anything. Event drop. Target is a drag drop. So we're not, that's interesting. This isn't building operations. We're getting the movement, but we're not getting the drop event here. So, you know, I could have wrote a bunch of like, or I guess wrote, lol, written, whatever word you want to use. I guess I could have done all that in here, but see what I'm saying? Like if I'd have done that with the mindset that this was going to absolutely work, I'd have put in a lot of work and gotten a lot of nothing out of it. Because as you can see, we're not getting any messages. So it's clear it will not work in here. Maybe if I just put like, and just as a test, let's just print text, right? Still don't work. And that is interesting. I wonder why that's the case. On drop. Let's just do, is it because there is an on drop function in here, so that kind of overrides it? I don't know. Let's try it out. Drop. Let's try it out. Maybe that could be it. I don't know. Yeah, that was not it. So we did all that for nothing. For absolutely nothing. Let's do on drop. Let's print. Drop. Compile. Play. Even that doesn't do something. What do you mean? So I'm assuming on drop is probably going to be maybe here, because I want to say it's dependent on drop, on where you're dropping it. So I think like essentially if I were to drop on this, there, see, right? If I drop here, we get hello. We don't necessarily get an on drop call when we're outside of the viewport. So this is more like if it's dropped in that area. So with that being said, you would really hope that they'd be like, something would work here, because then I could do that for both. Why couldn't you have work? Why couldn't you have work? That would have been so nice. And then here, ladies and gentlemen, is why game development takes so much longer than you originally anticipate. Because, you know, you're learning this stuff, you're figuring out what is doable, what isn't doable. And it's like, yeah, on drop is only going to work when you drop on that specific thing. Currently, we only care about two things. We care about on dropping in here. If we drop on the inside, obviously we're going to want to take this current held actor and we're going to want to destroy it. Destroy actor. If I was making like a bullet hell, I would definitely use like some type of pulling system for all of this. Right? Because, you know, I feel like that would be more performant, but since this is gonna be like at own pace, select amount of objects on screen, I don't think it's necessarily important we have a pulling system in here, but I could incorporate something of that nature in the future. Who knows? We'll see. It really is dependent on how performant everything is. But yeah, right now, actually, we're going to have to play on here to see how this works. Yeah. So this is having some issues now because, I mean, if we drop here, you'll see we have our test building. We drop there. It's the same test building. But if we go there, it's deleted. If we bring it back, we have another one. However, it should be named the same thing. I don't know why I would call it test building 1 instead of test building 0, because if you look in this hierarchy here, I don't know if you can see it, we literally have nothing that says test building 0. So this is still just pulling from test building. It's like, yeah, use this guy. He's currently here, which makes sense. That's how I've programmed everything. And I just say that. I guess that's how I've blueprinted everything. But now we've deleted that and we get test building 2. Let's delete that and do that. Test building 3. Okay. I'm not going to worry too much about that as long as it works to that extent. However, we're going to have to figure out how to get on drops outside of the UI. We get drag canceled. Let's see if this prints outside. Yeah, it does. So canceled works for both ways. Okay, so instead of having like instead of having this here, right, we're not going to need this. We're just going to use, so event drag cancel works universally, which is great. And since we have this little doodad here, we can essentially do what we did last time. And we can say if this was dropped on the inside or the outside. I don't know why I feel like writing all of these things out. Dropped outside, dropped inside, inside. Boom. And, you know, we've been dropped outside and we've been dropped inside. So that works. And that tells me, like, yeah, we can do everything universally from here, which is awesome. Because if we drop outside from here, we can get the owner, which is already set to this widget base building class, which has that current held actor, right? And since we now have access to that, we can, you know, just simply destroy it. Boom. Typically, like I said, if I were to be doing like a top-down shooter where there's a lot of things being spawned in and deleted, I would use a pool system and then just set those things that I'm spawning in that I know I'm going to spawn in a lot to hidden. It's what I did for Nico Newman project on Godot. At least I think. I don't know if I set up a pooling system on there. I know I'm doing it in the Unity version. I know I'm doing it in the Unity version. I don't know if I did it in the Godot version. I don't think I did. But, you know, if it's out here, it stays. We'll put a thing here that's like, hey, do you want to build this? You know, like a confirmation almost. And if they build it, then it'll build it in that area. However, if they drop it in here, you know, it'll just delete. We'll see if we get any red flags when we come out of here, and we don't. So that works a lot better than what we originally had. If inside, delete, bond actor. Very simple. That's the easy part. Setting up the widget to actually create this thing, that's going to be the hard part. Because I feel like what we're going to have to do is reference or create that widget in here. And we're going to have to do more things when it comes to naming conventions at some point. But for now, we're just going to try to keep it as simple as possible. And then, you know, iteratively or on a micro level, you know, just keep building on it. That seems like the smart thing to do. Brick by brick, as they say, right? But yeah, let's just look at our glory really quick. Our little glory that realistically means nothing. You know, because if you think about it, guys, you know, this will always exist in a digital spectrum, but, you know, at the end of the day, everything wears and tears, everything breaks. Some things, they just get lost to the universe and time. That's why these things are cool, but at the same time, it's like putting all of our hopes and dreams and ideas into them are just not beneficial to us, right? That's why the Bible speaks to these things. It's like, don't worry about this stuff. Worry about that stuff on the inside. That's the stuff that counts. Worry about the Lord, because he will always exist. Okay, so by the way, if you haven't already, guys, please make sure to click that like button, the heart button, the good buttons. Click all the good buttons. Click all the good buttons. For me, not for you. Because if you hate me and the good button is the bad button, then that's not the good button for me, is it? All right. Let's go ahead and start making a widget for this. Which I detest. I absolutely do not like making widgets. I really don't. I'm sorry. I wish I could like them. I just don't. They're not fun for me. Widget construction prompt. And I can always figure out like what I want to add to this later. But I do know we're going to want construction, and I feel like this is probably going to be the best method. Let's do a scale box. Scale. No, it's not down there in that thing. It's in here. Scale box. Let's do a scale box and then desired. Little buddy up here. Border. Make the scale huge. Blah! You can only do 5? That's crazy. Let's see what I've done here to give this. This is a size box, not a scale box. So we want a size box. I believe the size box allows us to size it the way that we want. You know, for now, we'll just do 512 by 512. Or what? What's 512? What was that? 2 something? 2. It's got to be like 256. I think, right? Am I right? Is my brain right? 512 divided by 2. Yay, smart, yay. But we probably want this a little bit lower because it's just literally going to be a button that says yes or no. For now. So, I don't know. Can I lower this? You know, maybe 256 will be good. I don't know. We'll have like a border here. It's like construct, question mark, yes, no. In the future, we can put like other stuff. Construct, da-da-da name. I'll probably pay someone to do that because I'm not a UI guy. I'm a whatever type of guy. Border. Are you border? And it's like, how do we segregate these things now? I mean, I could put another border probably here, but then this is minimized. So it's like, do I put another size box in here? Maybe we add another size box, right? With absolutely no padding. Is in the center, is at the top. And then we can override this to maybe... Oh, you could do it infinitely, but it'll only stay in the box. Sweet. 512. And then we can come down to whatever size we want. And then have a border in here. Border. Are you bored? Yes. Come on. There should be another color, at least. And it does not have the other color. Why is that? I know if I change this, oh, that'll change that. But why won't it change the other one? These are the things that make me not like. This is why I do not like the widget system here. It's like it's not intuitive. As you saw, I thought like, hey, maybe the border, the actual color here is gonna change. No, this border is gonna change the color of this border. It's ridiculous. What do you mean? Content. Maybe they want this one? Is that what it is? Content, color, and opacity. Maybe that's what it is. This is the content color. I've changed the content color instead of the actual color. All right, that makes more sense. The appearance. Obviously, these aren't the colors that I'm gonna go with. Shoot, I just might. I don't really care about the colors right now, to be quite frank with everyone. As long as it does the things, then we can think about colors later. Now, can we add text to this? Text. Rich text block. I don't feel like the rich text block will allow me to do the thing that I want. Text block. Tooltip. Where is text block? Literally right there. Construct. Construct building. Question mark. I mean, I guess we can have the padding. It looks all right now. The real test is when we actually bring it in. That's the real test. That's when we'll know. Construct building. And let's dial down the... oh. Come on. Color and opacity. Strike brush. Is that it? No. Which one? Which one changes the colors? You think it would be the color? It is the color and opacity. I just changed that one though. Crazy. Yeah, we want this a little bit. Like we want it to be not white. All right, so now that we have this in here, we have this. Let's name this top text. I want to imagine I can put multiple things in a border. No, you can't. There's got to be some way to work around that. Let's put a button. Let's see what happens if we put a button here. No, we can't. Because size boxes only have the ability to have one thing. You can only have one. So what do we do in this case? Do we use an overlay? Can we use an overlay to achieve this? That just means we'll have to get rid of all this. You know, we have our overlay. And then we have our border. I always spell it with an A. How many of these? And we can do that. Okay. Is there a fill content button here? That would be useful. Desired size scale. How about the whole thing? The whole thing. I guess what we're gonna have to do is use a scale box. And we'll have multiple scale box. There we go again. Might as well just spell it bore. And the issue with this scale box now is it doesn't have the ability for me to... Oh, that's why I'm using a scale box. I'm not using a size box. A size box. There we go. Trust me, I know what I'm not doing. Or we're spelling it without the A now. Everyone, please give me a warm applause for that. I'd highly appreciate it. I worked really hard to figure that out. You know what? We'll just have it take up... What was that? 80? Oh, sorry, just sending a text. So now that we have this border, we can go ahead and do the text. We are gonna want this to, and actually now that we're here, oh, I've redacted that mental change in my brain. Not good. So okay, it still works. I wanted it to originally 512, and then we just drag this down to, what was it, 256. Boom. And then why is this not working? Like if we look over the, maybe it's because I have to set the size and then do that. Okay, that's exactly what it is. And remember, it's not the one in the content, it's the one in appearance. That's the one you want to change. Oh boy. Oh boy. We'll just keep that white and we'll change this one to a... Why isn't it working? Why isn't it working? Is it because I need to switch them? That is why. I need to switch them. Okay. We're still doing something. Boom. 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 Let's get this centered. And construct. Place building. I'm going to do that because I feel like that's more child friendly. I think construct building is a little bit more adult. What's good, buddies? Nothing much, man. Just chilling. How are you doing, Kotagi? How are you doing today, my friend? It is a pleasure to see you in here. And we're doing all right. Just, you know, doing the typical boring stuff of, you know, widget stuff. You was right about me being back here. Do I get a hug? Can I get a like for getting it right? So now we have this. So remember, guys, it's size boxes and an overlay. Overlay can have multiple children. Size box, I think, now that I think about it, can't. Holy crap. So we have our border, but now we want to have an overlay of this. Because if we were to do a scale box in here, we would not be able to get the entirety of it. However, if we look now, we'll see that the overlay, and that's because we have padding. Anyways, how are you doing today, Kotagi? What are you up to, man? Button. 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 I would like to make it so it'd be like in the center here or here. Maybe if I do a size box on these, size. However, my main concern with this, like if we do that and we're like, what's 256, right? Because we're going to do half and then we do 256 for that. If we have like another size box, right? Right here. What would the padding look like? 256. Oh. Oh. That works exactly how we want it. Oh boy. Oh boy. So now let's go ahead and add the button. I'm starting to learn the things, guys. The things. I'm learning the things. However, one thing I'm not learning is apparently... Okay, we can do that. I don't like how that looks when we do that. How do I scale this without tampering with the actual look? Just being young, my experience with video games when I was a kid was the presence of words I didn't yet understand would teach me what they were. So you're saying, despite this being a little bit more friendly for children, you suggest, what I'm getting is you suggest we do construct building instead? I could do that. I wouldn't be opposed to that based on that logic. I don't think that's unreasonable by any means. We will have to, you know, turn this down a notch. Right? And personally, I would like it if I could pad this down a little bit more in this size box here. Let's see if we can actually do that with the padding. Let's do top. Come on. Not 256. 2. What would it be? Like 56? 80? I mean, that's pretty solid, I think. So yeah, even here we would have to do 80 to get like that real boom. I think this example is nauseous, but it's something to think about. True. All right, sweet. Now, it's all about figuring out how to get this thing to work. Maybe we use a size box here as well, just to make sure that it is what we want it to be. Are you working on that dialogue system today, Kotagi? Uh, 150? 150? Definitely not 150. Probably 50. Probably more than 50. Probably like 80. No. 75? I'm trying to find something that I feel is big enough for people to click. We can do 200. Do 70. Maybe even 75. I feel like that's a big enough button. What do you guys think? I already know you agree with me. Thank you. And now we can use the glorious button. The button. Put the button where the button is. And now, boom. Boom. We got 2 buttons, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to have to do like yes button and then have no button. Even though there is a button, but it's the no button. It's the button you click when you don't want, to place it. When designing for children, I think a lot of people understate that they don't register themselves as children. That is true. Or another way to put it is that they don't know what they don't know. I agree. I think that is a very good analysis of the situation. My guy Kotagi out here has got a 5 brain. Are you sure you're not the one with the big forehead, dude? I think that is a good diagnostic. I mean, we'll have to play around with it and see which word works best. I think construct building. I'd like to use construct building. But, I'm trying to go for a large demographic. Adults. I want adults to play this game and have fun as well. So it's about finding that mid-ground for me. So we'll have to find that out on our own at some point, I suppose. Boom. Can we have a text in here? Not test, text. Text. Yes, we can. We can have text in here. Oh. No. Should I make this Kotagi? What do you think? Should I? Because at the end, when I think of red, I think like you don't want to push this button, right? And I feel like I need a color that's universal. That's like, oh, both of these options are valid options, right? Because if you don't, I don't want to steer someone away from not placing the building, right? By having like red there. I know that sounds a little weird, but
Life's a beach, and now
I feel like that's something that definitely might happen.
if a photobomber crashes,
Like I might be unknowingly steering the player to not place the building by having the color red.
summer must-haves.
Maybe we go green.
Hitting the road
You know,
summer,
but it's like every other color doesn't make sense to me at the same time.
and
I learned recently
swipe away.
that C# supports manual memory management, so I'm taking the time to learn about that. I didn't know that they had a manual memory management system. Probably, yeah, I'll have to look into that myself. That's relatively interesting. I think about what we would expect the buttons to do if there was no text at all. That is also a very smart way of thinking about it. Gosh, Kotagi, you are on fire today, my friend. I need to keep you around. Just put you in my back pocket. Although I do think it's appropriate for me to just do this. And then that way I could just change the text here to yes. And then both things are things. And then on the button itself, obviously I would change this to a yes. And on obviously here I'd have to call this yes button. But I think that's like the best I've done with a UI so far. Ever working with UI in Unreal. As funny as that sounds, I would like there to be like maybe a little bit of black strip there. Is there a way to put shadow on this? Can I have a shadow? Shadow. There is no shadows here. So I think that's the best I'm gonna get. All right, let's spawn this guy in and go from there. Create widget. And it would be the widget construction prompt. The owning player would be player pawn or pawn. I guess I would have to get a player reference, which I apparently have right here. Anyways, let's add viewport. And we're gonna just have to find a way to pass in this player ref. Because in here, like in the building, I can move spawn actor. I mean, owns the widget. This needs something. Can I get the payload and then player? Get player. First, nope, can't do that. By default, C# uses a garbage collector. Yep, but it can be overridden. That is true. I never thought of that. I've also been looking into different games, libraries, frameworks. What games in particular? That's interesting. Oh. But yeah, we can't necessarily get that from that. I mean, I suppose that I could, when we're creating this building operation in the payload itself, get player pawn. What is this? Player controller reference. Player controller reference. Am I ever using the player reference here? I am not. Therefore, let's do player controller object reference, right? Player controller ref. And we're just going to need to make this one instance editable and expose on spawn. We're going to keep getting this here, so I'm just going to get rid of that for now. So when we actually go to the portrait, you'll see now that we have this exposed. So essentially, I can take this and I can plug that into here, and this will allow me to essentially do this, where I get this and do that. And that should now... Oh. Must have a connection. in-world context object must have a connection. When we create a widget, that's confusing because it's like, hey, we need to have a world context object must, like here it's like, yeah, that makes sense. By that I mean somewhere between an engine like Unreal Godot and raw programming using some graphics library like SDL. Okay. Yeah, I'm not familiar with SDL at all. SDL is like stupid dumb language. Just saying that for the memes, by the way. Oh. Gatorade. But I am a little annoyed. I don't know why this is not working, and it's kind of making me mad. This works here. I mean, the only reason why we have building information is because this particular widget requires it on its construction. Yeah, I don't know how to get around that tidbit. I do know that this is probably going to need some stuff. For instance, the actor, right? Because the actor is going to have to be constructed. We're going to have to construct the actor. On drop, event graph, set base, widget construct, widget base portrait. And just save that. It's awkward because I'm beginning to feel the growing pains of game engines and wanting for more control. Yeah. Well, I think one of the best videos or shorts that Thor, aka Pirate Software, has created is his subject on
anything trying to steal your shine.
Game engines.
To add Lightroom to your summer must-haves.
You know, I will say that I don't specifically agree with him full-heartedly on it, but I do agree that for my particular project, there's nothing particularly special that I need graphically wise, right? The graphics are all set in stone. Like, I don't need anything relatively special because it is a, it's a 3D platformer. However, he says that, like, if you want to make your own engine, you're egotistical, and I don't fully agree with that, because in your case, right, you just want more control. You want to know the engine that you're working with, and the best way to do that is to either spend a lot of time learning an engine that you're working with, or create an engine to work with. But there is a mountain of difference between a complete engine and what the developers at Nintendo were doing with their N64 games, for example. Yeah, it's true. That is true. Yeah, I don't. And why did I get rid of that? Why would I do that to myself? Obviously, it was an accident, but. I don't know. Is it because this has no world context, so I really can't create it from here? Is that what I'm getting from this? I mean, I could copy this go to the widget portrait where all of this will actually, where is it? Construction, base buildings here. Things shifted a little bit. I could come in here and I could place building, compact node title, keywords, description, function used to create construction widget prompt, right? And essentially I could possibly, you know, do this from here and just say, you know, get player on, and then get controller, get local viewing player controller, plug that in, compile. Oh, and it works amazingly. I could do that from here, and then from here and this, essentially just get my owner, which is that, and then, you know, what is it called? Place building, right? I could just do this, and I believe that'll work. Let's just give that a try really quick. Boom, right? And you'll see that it does that. It does do that. Now the issue, I mean, let's actually try this in here and do that. And I mean, it looks solid no matter where it's at. The only issue is I want that to be in the middle of the screen. And I don't particularly know how to do that in here. So I'm assuming widget base portrait on the building or construction prompt. I wouldn't really say they had an ego. It's just a desire to not take shortcuts for the sake of learning. Yeah, I mean, you know, to be honest, I do think he said that there is a learning. There's learning, your engine needs it, or because you're egotistical. One of the two. So maybe I am citing that video wrong. It could be a possibility. It could be very much so a possibility. But yeah, I think in some cases it could be specifically for that. You want to learn and you want to, you know, have a better idea of how engines work. And in knowing that, it'll help you work in other engines and even in your own engine. Some people might think that programming for the sake of becoming a better programmer is egotistical, but I think that ignores the part where being a better programmer lets you make better programs. I agree. And, you know, maybe there is some egotistical aspect to becoming a better programmer. You know, there's some competitive aspect behind there. But at the end of the day, like when someone, if that's what pushes someone forward to do better at what they want to do better, I don't think necessarily that's always a bad thing, you know, especially if it's a skill that you can use for good. That's my opinion on it. The real good reason why most people shouldn't make their own game engines is because chances are you'll become discouraged very quickly and end up retreating somewhere to comfort. Yeah. Sometimes you gotta do that though. Right? Sometimes you gotta do that. You gotta do that thing that gives you a moral boost. There's nothing wrong with that either. And I know you're not saying there's something wrong with that, but that's how I view it, right? Some people just want to be the best. that comes up with a lot of, you know, tension and other things, so. Especially when you're talking to other people who are the same. So on here, we're going to need reference to the base building. Base building. I don't know. Let's copy this and paste it. Yeah. We're gonna need another one that's like delete current held actor. There's got to be a way to like essentially move this, delete it, but move it to something else. Does that make sense?
Your photos there too with Adobe Lightroom. If a photobomber crowds your shot, it's easy to remove them with generative remove. Don't forget to add Lightroom to your summer must-haves.
What, sweetie? I'll have to talk to Mama when she gets home. I know you want to toy with your Tooth Fairy money, but we're going to have to talk to Mom to see if she wants to drive out there, because there's still stuff we have to do at home today, okay? Mm-hmm. All right, well, like I said, I'll have to talk to Mama, okay? But for now, be patient and go play with the toys you have in your room. Love you. Kids always want a new toy. I remember being that way. The reason is why I'm looking for somewhere between the very abstract, high-level engines and raw graphics programming. True. Nothing wrong with building up your skills. If it's an interest you have, you should pursue that interest. Build the building. Also, I do really want to see if I can move that in the middle. Do not build the building. I'll save. Boom. Yes, build the building. Do not build the building. Okay. Let's see about getting this centered. Is there any way to change where this is in space? Can I, I can't just drag this around. I mean, I can move this like this, right? Is there a... It's annoying that there's not like an anchor system on these. You know? I see a padding. I can transform this or translate this to wherever I want it. But it's like there's nothing that really guarantees that it's always going to be in the center of the screen when I want it to be. I mean, even here. Can I copy this and delete it and then paste it all? Yeah, I can. Not an over or canvas panel to give us the entirety of the canvas, which seems to full screen. I've disappeared. Boom. Well, if you look, everything's completely destroyed. All my plans and excitement have gone to waste. And now it takes up this much. All because I want to have the ability to essentially, what is it, go like this and be like, yeah, I want to be in the center of the screen all the time. Even then, you know, that is interesting. Okay. Let's try it in here. And I guess overlay works in that sense. You just have to align it the way you wanted it to be aligned. Okay. Me like. So the question is this drag going to be the building we place? As in, once we place it, we click yes. Do we delete that and replace it with a spawned object at that point? I think that's what we're going to have to do. That's what we're going to have to do. Which I'm not too fond of. I've already created it. Why should I create another one? You know? So let's go ahead.
Life's a beach, and now you can edit your photos there too with Adobe Lightroom. If a photobomber
Alright.
clouds your shot, it's easy to remove them with generative remove. Don't forget to add Lightroom to your summer must-haves.
We will need this for this. Right? We might have to add this to a list or something at some point. But we'll have to take our self and remove parent. I think that's how you get rid of. Can I get the class? I can get the class. Okay. So I don't need this. I don't need that. So I can use that and get rid of this. If they say yes, we should delete it. I would have it use the same model as a building, which will be placed, but with a different material texture, yeah. I mean, there'll be more stuff for that in the future. I mean, it's working. The only issue is we're not, like, deleting certain stuff. But it is working.
Fentanyl is closer than you think. Yep, literal record scratch for a record scratch moment. Maybe
So
you're having a good night out, because fentanyl is only in so-called hard drugs.
if we click no,
Actually, fentanyl has
we're gonna want to actually get
and
a widget-based portrait here.
deadly. Get all the facts at factsfightfentanyl.org. Sponsored by the California Department of Public Health.
Which
Hitting the road this summer? With Adobe Lightroom, make your photos look exactly the way you want from anywhere. And with Generative Remove, you can swipe away anything trying to steal your shine. Don't forget to add Lightroom to your summer must-haves.
just do that, right? And then we'll just remove ourselves. Oh yeah. Lol. I hate that. Oh. Oh. Instant edible. Boson spawn. Save. Compile. I really detest that it does this sometime. You have to like literally do that and do that and say shelf. Put that in here. You have to redo everything. Yeah, I was not ready for that either. But hey, good on them for, I don't know, doing that. It is a big problem. Interesting. That's why. No. No, it's not working. I guarantee it creates two. Boom. I wonder why that's happening. Like, we have this, we click yes, and we can essentially keep doing it. If we say no, it deletes it as we want, right? What happened? Why is it working now? Does anyone else see what I'm saying? Why is it working now? That is crazy. Give me 1 second, guys. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Is there a difference in object between the building before and after its place, or is the same object just in a different state? It's literally the same object, but in a different state. The only difference is that in the future, we're going to have the owner change. And I guess I could just switch the owner. That's true. I didn't see a way to do this. Until you actually brought it up, so. No, that's true. Unless there's a way. In here. Maybe we can set this. Maybe this sets it to like a null object. We could try that. Huh. So that does work. So what we can do instead of all of this, right? Instead of all this, I can literally just essentially just set this current object to nothing. So we have place building. If it's no, we'll just call a function. And we'll rename this to create constructor menu. And then we'll have a place building function in here. Building. And literally all the buildings, all you're going to do. Yeah, it is the same game. So in the future, buildings are going to have the potential to do a lot of things in them. Right? Sorry. Chewing sunflower seeds. I have a lot of ideas that I want to do with the buildings, but I need to really sit down and figure out which ones are feasible and which ones work with the game. And which ones don't, which ones add more scope to the game, so on and so forth, right? So right now I'm just working on the basis of the buildings, like the aspects that I know will be concrete, right? I know I'm going to need to have materials to craft buildings. I know I'm going to need, to be able to place the buildings and construct them. So that's what I'm working on, but the general idea is, and this is just very limited to what I know for a fact is going to be in the game. Some buildings are going to have the capacity to give buffs, or buffs to the player, and they're going to be used as places to craft things for the player. But now I literally just have to essentially say place building, right? Which all this really does is just, we'll see if it works. Yeah, right now I'm and create constructor menu. Why isn't that working? Why isn't create constructor menu not working? This isn't working because it's not, when I drop, it's not constructing the building. I think what's going on is there's like a naming discrepancy going on because I did create one and then called it the place the building. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save all and I'm going to restart. I think there's some like naming discrepancy. That's a skill a lot of game devs people need to spend time developing, maximizing the ratio of content to scope work done. Yeah. Essentially, more bang for your buck. I'm trying to see what's easy to implement that gives me a lot of bang for my buck. Not saying crafting and yada yada is easy to implement, but I'm just trying to see what works best for the project and what, you know, contributes to a time sink and a fun time sink, not like something that's paywalled and boring, right? Which is what you see primarily with a lot of mobile games. Are like, oh, but you spend money to buy more energy to visit more platform worlds. As I don't want to do that. I want to give people a game they can play for fun and have fun and play ultimately for as long as they want. That's just how it is for me. No playing, no game on Twitch says, hey, yo, what's up, beautiful? Nothing much. Nothing much, bro. How you doing today? Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, see, something as small as that. And then the timer also creates like speed running aspects of the game. Although people can add that themselves. Mm-hmm. Well, it also creates replayability too. A real simple way to create replayability, in my opinion. For some, not so many, but there's a group of individuals out there who like to beat their best time. Right? And it doesn't necessarily always need to be time. You got games like Pac-Man where it's all based on score, high score. You're trying to beat your score or someone else's score who's above you. I'm good, thanks. Just finished getting ready for work. Okay, 4th day out of 7, so almost half of the week done. Yeah. Yep. It's kind of sad how it's on a loop like that sometimes. I mean, now it's working. I apologize. I forgot. I believe to remove from parent after that. Now we're working. Eventually, we're going to have to add like materials, which I think we'll have to do. But first, that's going to involve us getting materials over from the platformer world into this world. Great, and we have no errors now. We have no errors. And no playing, no game. When you talk about work, are you talking about your work on Aqua Dream, or are you talking about like your work outside of Aqua Dream? By the way, everyone, I just want to say thank you all for being here. Y'all are the best. I absolutely love each and every single one of you, and you all add so much more to my life. Thank God for each and every single one of you being in here. You truly all are a blessing, and I love talking and communicating with each and every single one of you. Yeah, I work in real life. I know how that feels. I was getting that yesterday. Like I said, I've been running a business with my mom, and we got like our first jobs yesterday. We got our first job yesterday. So I had to essentially do a bunch of stuff to set that up. You know, a lot of administration stuff to set that up on my end, invoicing, yada yada. Then we got confirmation today that a big contract just came through, so we're stoked about that. But I'm gonna have a lot of work to do in regarding that. And yesterday I had to quote somebody who's trying to get some remediation work done, and it took a lot of time to do because you know, there's specifics to each job, right? We don't just do one single job. Sometimes one job needs this chemical or another job needs that chemical, and that's the best way I can simplify the explanation of it without getting too much into the dirty detail. But it can be a lot of tedious work to go through, figure out the pricing of those the pricing of that equipment or those supplies, utilities, so on and so forth, and then multiplying that by 15%, you know, the 10% for our cut and then the 5% for royalties. I mean, is it difficult work? No, but it is like tedious. Do this, then this, and this, and this, and then send this to this, and then wait for this, and then after that, schedule this, and it's like, mama. Sick. Always better to have a business. Yes, I'm very fortunate, man. The Lord has given me a chance to prove myself, and I hope that I don't mess it up by concentrating too much on this. I hope that everything comes together and works out perfectly. And that's about as much as I can say about it. Knowing how this works, we don't have to worry about spawning it again. Right? Boom. We want to construct that building. Boom. No, we don't. Yeah. No. Yes. Obviously, at some point, there's going to be sizes included within. They're going to be sizes included within this game, right? Like size of building. This can't go here because the placement is bad, right? We'll work on that when the time comes, but for now on, we're just focusing on the fundamental things of the game. I did originally think of putting this all on a grid-based system. Pick a grid, place on the grid. You don't have to worry about like placements at that point, because if there's something already there, you just won't be able to put it there. I don't feel like that fits really well with the game, and I want to give people the ability to customize their worlds on an intimate level, and I feel when you have a grid-based system of that nature, it kind of takes a little bit away of that, you know? For instance, if it's a 5x5 grid, you know, there's only 10 places that you can put these buildings, and there, you know, obviously there's a lot of combinations involved in that, but it's still limited in that sense, right? It's limited to those variations, you know. When you take away that grid system and you add a little bit more to the placement, you know, like is there something in the way, right? It adds more to the game. Like if you can rotate things, which I do want to add eventually, is the rotation of objects. But yeah. It may be too late, but something that may be interesting design-wise is to let the buildings take some time to construct. Yeah, that is something we'll be doing too. That is something we will be doing. For instance, just to give you a show, you know, in the header for this, I do have a build time. All right. It is in here as well. So I might delete this from here because I don't think it's necessary for the building to know how long it takes to build. However, I might keep it there because I do plan on adding like a degradation, or is that the word? Degradation. Yeah, degradation mechanic to the building. So, you know, if you don't play for a while and you come back, your buildings could be, you know, needing maintenance, and because they need maintenance, it'll essentially deduct a percentage from, you know, its functionality, right? All right. So that's kind of done, I think. There's probably some stuff I don't know I need to have right now. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Pretty cool, huh, guys? I'm very surprised and I'm happy because at first this seemed like a little bit difficult and impossible to do. You know, especially this right here. Right, this is the part I was really concerned about. Giving the players something that feels intuitive. I feel this is very intuitive, right? You know, you have your UI widget when you're in a UI space, and when you translate into like this state where you know you're going to be placing this, it converts over to a mesh and vice versa. Will someone sit here and do this? Probably, but I don't think a lot of people will be concerned about that. But yeah, I am very excited about this. I am a little sad though because I did develop a whole entire input system for this. As you can see, like where I'm clicking, you'll see things down here. In the future, I could have totally done something like that where it's like, oh, click here, and you know, if there's nothing, click, you bring up a menu that allows you to place stuff or build stuff or move stuff. We'll have to do that in the later, like if I place this down right here and I'm like, you know, yeah, let's construct it, but I want to move it. Maybe we'll click it and then be able to move it around and rotate it that way as well. But for now, that's what it's going to stay at. In that case, I think you could forego the dialogue choice to not construct the building in favor of being able to cancel the construction so long as it isn't complete. That is true, but at the end of the day, the reason why I have that construction menu is because there's going to be materials involved in the construction of the building. So I want to find a way to essentially be like, yeah, we have these materials, construct. Right. Yeah, and there's a lot of other reasons, like mistakes that could happen on the player's end where maybe they accidentally click something over and they use up some. At the end of the day, I want to give players... I'm trying to build a game to make it so people want to go into the platform world and perform, you know, the duty of gathering resources and... you know, finding any way to allow the player to spend materials helps do that, right? So if someone constructs something knowingly and then deletes it afterwards, you know, they're not going to get all their materials back. That's just how I want the game to work, because it will essentially be annoying, yeah, but it is going to get people back into the platform world. Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you. Balloons Tower Defense clone, yeah. All right, I'm going to go prepare my lunch and then go to work. See ya, bud. Yeah, you have an excellent day, no playing, no games. I hope today for you is a fast, quick, easy day, man. I hope it's an easy day at work, and I wish the same for tomorrow as well if you're working tomorrow, because yeah, the quicker you get to work on Aqua Dream, I know the happier you'll be. So hopefully these next 2 days go really well for you, and they're quick, they're easy, and they just feel like they slid by like butter on a pan. But yeah, that's the general idea. That is the general idea when it comes to the building. Typically I'll finish a function and then get off, but we got a couple of more minutes to work with here. Boom. Boom, boom. Boom. Sorry guys, I got an important email I need to look at. Oh, that's so awesome. That is so awesome. I'm so excited, man. I got my daughter into this really, really cool, like, educational Lego building class that they've, been able to bring to her school. And it's going to be an awesome learning experience for her because, it's going to be, apparently, they're going to have like builds that the kids put together, and there's going to be like a historical education on those particular crafts or buildings, and then they'll build it. So yeah, and the thing is a Lego Air, Land, and Sea Adventure, so I'm thinking she's going to love that a whole lot. But no, sorry, I'm just going to marvel at this really quick. Right? Like, yes, I want to place this building here. Do I want to place it here? No. 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 That's awesome. All right. Now, shoot. We got to incorporate. We have to incorporate materials into the construction of this building. Obviously in the future, like I'll probably, these won't be squares, they'll be buildings, right? But I kind of want the buildings to have like this transparent look, so the player knows like, oh, this isn't built yet. So when they place it, they click yes, it'll like go from bottom to top and then fill in. Or maybe we'll have like specific construction model or steps based off of a model, so it'll go through each one depending on the time it takes to make it. I'll also give them the ability to finish it with materials, right? And they won't be stuck behind like a paywall where you can pay for, I mean, I guess, I don't know, I don't want people to pay for materials because I feel like there's kids out there that'll just use their parents' cards, I just want to give the parents, being a parent, I want them to have something they can trust. Something they can trust. Not someone who's trying to take advantage of that particular situation. Bam, bam. Oh, man. But yeah, so far, if you want to see like the transition, right? So like in this world, Kotagi, what is going on in here? Oh, it's having a hard time building all of these little widgets. I'll have to go in there and set those classes personally. But, you know, the idea is that, you know, they pick up these. And then they can transition into the world. Right now, this whole world exit might change. But this is just something to give them transition into this. And that is a concern that these aren't particularly building unless I, you know... If your internet is money, I feel like the only honest way to go about it are free with donations, or the game costs some amount of money outright. Maybe. I would like for it to be free, because there is going to be some like educational Christian stuff in it. So at the player's choice, right? I'll have to figure out what widgets. It's probably the inventory widgets in here that I need to construct. But we'll figure that out eventually. But that is concerning. When we go here, right, guys? When we go here, you know, we don't get that building. Why is that? But if, you know, we start from here, we do get it. Right? We do get it. We'll have to figure that out later. But, you know, I think I am going to hop off for the day. It looks like I might have to do some work on the other businesses end. So with that, I bid you all an adieu. Thank you all for being in here. If you haven't already, click that like button, the heart button, the follow button, all the good buttons. I've said this 1,000 times. So I guess saying it, 1,001 times fine, but you get the point. Coward, Kotagi, thank you for stopping in. Rewarding people for spending real money in any game functions as a tax on people who, for one reason or another, don't want to experience the gameplay loop. That's true. I mean, we'll see about implementing some of those aspects in, but I don't want to do it so much that, you know, that it could potentially be dangerous for them. But other than that, I'm going to bounce out. Thank you, Kotagi, for hanging out. No Playing No Games, thank you for hanging out. Anyone else who's tuned in, who's watching on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, who's in the shadows lurking, I love you. You have a magnificent day, and God bless each and every single one of you. Christ of Nazareth, he loves you. Ooh. Ooh. All right, peace out, guys. Much love. Oh, make sure to join the Discord. Join the Discord. Links in the description of this video. Do it. Click it. Join in on the fun.